Welcome to the Vernon Hills Update. The update offers information about a variety of village services. You'll meet a few of your neighbors, and you'll find out about upcoming events. On today's show, we'll find out what's been happening on the Vernon Hills business development scene as we check in with Assistant Village Manager John Kalmar. We'll gear up for St. Baldrick's Day and learn how we can all work together with the Vernon Hills Police Department to help support childhood cancer research. We'll drop in at the Vernon Hills Park District's newest facility, the Lakeview Center, to check out some of the fitness, aquatic, and child care resources available to residents and non-residents. And we'll visit Vernon Hills' very own Adversity Volleyball Club, which is led by Mike Hewlett, one of the most highly decorated volleyball coaches in the nation. If you have comments or suggestions, please contact Mike Storto at 847-918-3560 or email Mike S. at vhills.org. Thank you for tuning in to the Vernon Hills Update.
Well, we're here at the Village Hall to talk to John Kalmar about things that are going on in development around the village. And thanks for taking the time to talk. It's been a little while since we've talked, and a lot of things going on. Just in general, what's the economy looking like? What's the trends looking like?
Things are okay. I mean, we've seen sales tax figures being flat, and they're okay. Still difficult out there. We're still working with a lot of new people looking to come in and still fill vacant spaces. But it's not the go-go years like what we've seen in the past. So we're okay, good, and good financially, which is really positive and the like. And again, we're very fortunate to be where we're located with the strong retail base that we have here today and the like. So we're fortunate. We're optimistic as we move forward that things will continue to get better, that we will continue to fill vacancies that are existing out there and the like. So we're cautiously optimistic.
Yeah, that's a good way to be. It's much better than it's been in years past, so
Yes.
we can say we're cautiously optimistic. One of the things we've been seeing a lot about, it's the Oaks of Vernon Hills. Over on Route 45, the old Kelly's Camp, Lakeham's Tap, and that's kind of gone through kind of a transformation of what they think is going to happen. Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
Yeah, about 3 years ago, the village gave preliminary approval to an office research development on that site. Would have seen a combination of office warehouse, and in some undesignated land area that could have been large warehouse, similar to what is in Corporate Woods right now. About the time it was approved, the economy went in the hole, so to speak, and that project was put on hold. Since that time, a new developer has come back and, while partnering with Hamilton Partners, to propose a 304-unit luxury apartment development on that entire site. 304 units, it's a mixture of 1, 2, and 3-bedroom units. The buildings are spaced out, 9 apartment buildings and 8 row-style townhome buildings throughout the site. It will also have a large clubhouse, pool area, and then a larger area of green space that will be preserved adjacent to Route 45. There's also a small piece of commercial land, about a 2-acre parcel, about half of which is occupied by detention basins at some point as a part of the development process. So. They have been through their first first public hearing for consideration of preliminary approvals before the Planning and Zoning Commission. Each of those is recommended for approval. The Village Board's Committee of the Whole, at its last meeting in January, I think it was January 9th, recommended preliminary approval of the site landscaping, building elevations, and plat of subdivision. And it will come back before the Village Board on January 22nd for approval of that ordinance. In addition, it was also recommended that the property be rezoned to R7, which is multifamily, have a PUD designation placed upon it, and also approval of a special use permit that granted not only the PUD designation, but also certain variations.
And what is a PUD designation?
Plan unit development. It allows for flexible design on the site that allows for things like preservation of open space, closer buildings being closer together, and the like. So it provides flexible design characteristics for a project.
So this is going through the process right now, this new, kind of changed plan for this, but it's looking positive. And so if everything does keep moving along, we're taping this in January, so you can watch it in February. Are we thinking that's a possibility that something could start, we might start seeing things happen this summer?
Probably late summer is what my guess at this point. They still have to go through the final design process right now. We have a number of moving parts that still have to be firmed up in terms of not only internal staff reviews, but there's also IDOT reviews that have to take place. So that's a fairly lengthy process that'll be occurring over the next number of months. We might see construction begin late summer. At this point, and with occupancies beginning sometime in mid to late 2014.
And when you talk about IDOT, that's kind of a busy stretch in there.
Correct.
Are there any accommodations that have to be made for this traffic?
Well, there will be designated turn lanes that will be placed in there, so there will be some slight expansion of Route 45. So that'll be done as a part of the overall process, and that's similar to what's taken place on a number of other developments along the way there. Ryder Estates added turn lanes. Sanctuary Point had some things that were added as a part of that. So, but in terms of road widening and the like, that will not occur. The one important thing, though, to point out as a part of this development is that the developer has acquired property directly to the east of the site, which will allow for an eastern access to Forest View Drive and then out, allowing them to either go back to 45 or go north to the intersection of Woodland and Milwaukee Avenue. So what it means is that residents who are living there will not have to exit directly out on Route 45 during peak periods. And if they have while they can do that, if they have a difficulty in getting out or they have to wait in line for a while because of the sheer volume of traffic, they'll be able to use this alternative access that will not impact Route 45 at all.
Okay.
So,
a couple more questions on that. And which school district will these families be in?
both, it will be in the Stevenson district and also be in Lincolnshire Riverwoods.
And how does this relate? Because I know there's the high-end housing units that have been being built over in the TIF district, closer to Route 45 and 22 over there in Town Center. How is that coming along? I mean, we see it looks like there's maybe still some buildings to go in, but that's doing pretty well?
Yeah, the existing buildings that are out there right now are almost 100% occupied right now, which is great for that area. There are still remaining units to be built are 93 units at this point. So it's a combination of a condo style building and then the remaining townhome buildings that need to be built out there. So there are vacancies are down, way down in that area, which is consistent with the past patterns that we've seen come out of that development. And there are still remaining units to be built. Will this impact it? Maybe. Not sure at this point. It's a different kind of product than what was proposed in the TIF district, and so it serves a different kind of market. The for sale townhome market right now isn't there in terms of building new units. There's plenty of product that's out on the market right now, as I'm sure a number of folks in the community know. So I don't anticipate new townhomes being built within the TIF district at this point. So.
Well, that's interesting to see how those two might line up together. Well, that's the Oaks of Vernon Hills. Now, another topic we've been, kind of over the coming years and past years, we've talked about things at Westfield Hawthorne. Right. And they have come through with some more proposals. Anything moved on that, or can you give us names, or is it still, you know what I mean? Yeah,
actually, we've made some progress to the point where there will be a public hearing for the zoning entitlements. It's scheduled currently for January 30th. What we will be looking for at that public hearing before the Planning and Zoning Commission will be looking at the architecture and landscaping that's proposed, and then variations related to new signage that are going to be on the site, and also then the expansion of the building itself to allow for the proposed theater It's a 12-screen theater, state-of-the-art, along with certain special use permits that will be granted for restaurants with alcohol, which is consistent with what's out there right now. Certain variations, a number of variations for the size of wayfinding or directional signage on the site, additional signage on the building throughout the entire mall property, and then the proposal for 2 larger signs, monument signs, to be either on Route 60 or on Milwaukee Avenue.
And are we talking electronic, like message boards?
Yeah, they're talking about 2 large LED signs on both of those signs, and they use those in terms of not only advertising what's at the mall, but also doing off-site advertising. And I think, quite frankly, right now there's a struggle with accepting that type of sign in town, let alone allowing for off-premise signs, which currently the sign ordinance does not permit.
Okay. So there's some questions going on there.
Yeah, it really is, and it's going to be one of those things that, looking at it going forward, if those types of signs are approved, will that set a precedent for other properties within town that may want to consider it? Westfield may try to argue that it's a very expensive sign panel and not everybody can do it. And I would agree with that, but as we all know, technology seems to drive down costs to help it proliferate, so we're hoping not to have that occur.
And we'll see how that all works out then. And that multiplex, they want it between Sears and Penny's, kind of on the back side is where you would see that. And at this point, Westfield kind of is holding all of the cards as far as who's going in where, and they haven't really given, you can't be at liberty to tell us.
Right. I mean, the only one I can confirm is that there is ongoing discussions with Dave & Buster's to locate between Carson's and Sears on what would be the south side of the mall, and they're proposing a 40,000 square foot restaurant, electronic arcade, similar to the other locations within the metropolitan area. The theater on the north side, it's a 2-story addition. Theater on the upper level. On the lower level would be a series of restaurants of some form or another. I mean, we're not aware of who they're talking with at this point, and they haven't signed any leases with anyone at this point.
We don't want to jinx it anyway. So.
Well, there you go. Right, exactly. So, I mean, one of the interesting things that they're proposing as a part of the theater would be to allow for alcohol service not only in the lobby of the theater, but also within the theater. And they've also asked, as a part of the consideration for the special use permit, to allow for food service. So it's a dine-in concept that would allow you literally to go there and have order off a menu and watch a show and eat your dinner and have a glass of wine or a beer with dinner and the like.
So. Kind of like sitting around by the TV at home, like you always do, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, there you go. Well, so that's something we're going to have to just keep watching, see how that goes. Speaking of restaurants, Chick-fil-A, is that still kind of in the works for the Pier 1 site?
Yep, still is. We're in the final throes of finishing up our review process. They are getting their final approvals, and I would expect we'll see some kind of movement forward in the next probably 60 days or so from the showing of this program.
And you said there's work also afoot a little bit further south on that street in the old Blockbuster. You said there's a clothing store getting ready to go in?
Right. We are reviewing plans right now for DXL Destination Clothier. It's a new store that's coming into the area. They're going to take about half of that building. There's also been some talk about a possible small restaurant, breakfast, lunch place going in the remaining part of that store. So, that'll be a great thing. Pier 1 is actually talking about relocating to one of the shopping centers adjacent to it. So it's not like they're going to leave the community. They're just going to repurpose and go into a different space, potentially within one of the 2 shopping centers. So.
And talking about that too, Hobby Lobby, we've been watching that really come together. As we're taping in January, you're thinking it could be a matter of just days before they're ready to open.
Right. We're looking at first week in February. So that's they're doing their stocking right now and putting up shelving and the like. And they've had great weather to work in, obviously with no snow. So they'll be open, and may very well, when this show airs, be open and Hilco.
And right near there is that Bucky's Mobile's been shut down. They're getting ready to do some stuff, though. The plan is to open bigger and better.
Yeah, what everybody sees right now is that it's closed off right now. They removed the tanks, the 2 fuel tanks, and that was required as a part of their deal with Mobile. Bucky's, which is through Buchanan Energy, is the company. Bucky's is going to construct a new C-store location, new car wash, and then additional pump islands that are going to go in there. And we're working with them right now on the site design at final engineering and the like. And I would imagine that we'll see some kind of construction take place probably within the next 60 days again. So
nice handy spot, so nice to have something in there. And I don't know, we've seen like some empty restaurant venues, like for instance, Opa and Salerno's, and I understand that's on the market now.
Yeah, they, Opa's just closed, and both of them are on the market, being marketed by a company, I think, out of Chicago, Hilco, and being marketed as restaurant spaces, but, who knows? I mean, everybody who's lived around here for a while has seen multiple variations of restaurants go in there, and we'll see. It could very well convert to something else. We don't know.
Okay, well, so that we can stay tuned on all that. And before we close, I know we always like to tell people there's always a lot of information on your website. And in fact, not only is there info on there, but you guys are doing a changeover, so we should be watching for changes to your website.
Yeah, we the last time the village updated its website in terms of content and form and the like was back in 2006, 2007. We have since begun a new process. We've hired a new company that we're working with to do a total redesign of our website that will afford greater ease and access, allow residents to do more things on it, and will provide a hopefully more information in a clearer format than what we have right now. We're working through a committee internally on that. In fact, today I'm supposed to see the first mock-up of the site itself. And we're anticipating that the new site will go live by the end of June. So it's very exciting. The evolution of websites, as we've seen in a number of communities, has been significant, and it's such an important tool to provide information to residents, both our residents and also people outside the community who may be interested in coming to town for business or vacation or special events or economic development reasons. They really rely on that. So from our standpoint, we're looking forward to getting that up and running.
Well, and kudos to you, too, because I know the Village of Vernon Hills, in the method with which you give information, you've gotten very high scores from a group that's been investigating transparency. So the things like your website and how you do communicate, that's been important to you guys, so good for you.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's one of those situations where we're not afraid to give you the information because that's what it's all about here. If you have a question, ask it. Send us an email, call us, whatever you want, and we're happy to answer it. And if we don't have the answer immediately, we're happy to get it for you. That's what it's all about. So,
well, and excellent. And on that note, that's what you should do too. If you want to hear more about this, go online, call Mr. Kalmar, give a call to the Village Hall, come stop in. Thanks for taking the time. We know you got a lot of stuff on the plate and probably heat up as we go through summer, so we'll come back and talk to you again. But thanks for the time.
Thanks, Lynn.
Hi, I'm Officer Sharon Joseph with the Vernon Hills Police Department's Crime Prevention Unit. Did you know that worldwide over 175,000 children are diagnosed every year with childhood cancer? 1 out of 5 of those children won't survive. That's why the Vernon Hills Police Department is participating in a St. Baldrick's event. What is that, you may be wondering? Let me tell you a little bit about the foundation first. The St. Baldrick's Foundation was created in 2000 when 3 guys decided to turn their company's St. Patrick's Day party into a fundraising event. They had 19 volunteers, and they hoped to raise $17,000 on the 17th. They raised over $104,000. Now, what did they do to raise this money? Well, children with cancer sometimes lose their hair. So in order to show solidarity with those children, they shaved their heads. $104,000. Within a couple of years, the foundation became the largest volunteer-driven organization that benefited children's cancer research. To this date, they've raised over $150 million. Over $23 million was given out as grants last year alone. So since it was St. Patrick's Day and they all went bald, they changed St. Patrick's to St. Baldrick's Day. On Saturday, March 9th, 2013, at the Westfield Hawthorne Mall, members of the Vernon Hills Police Department will be shaving their heads to help raise money for children's cancer research. We'd love to see you there. Come watch people get their heads shaved, or you're even welcome to start a team and join us. Well, you also might be wondering why I'm actually wearing my hair down today. And that's because I wanted to show you what I'm willing to give up. That's right, I'm going to be shaving my head. And I have several reasons why I'm going to be doing it. First, children should not be stuck in the hospital with illnesses and sicknesses. They should be out playing, figuring out what game they're going to be playing for the day, not being sick. Secondly, I know how hard it is as a parent to see my child sick. When my kids had their tonsils out, I would have switched places with them in a minute. And lastly, parents should never have to bury their children. My brother Matt was 24 when he was diagnosed with acute lymphocytic leukemia, or ALL. He fought for 7 years before he passed away. It's been almost 10 years, and I still miss him every day. He was my little brother. So if I can raise money to fund research that might find a cure for ALL or any other childhood cancer, I don't have a problem shaving my head. And I have the full support of my family. In fact, my husband, my 5-year-old son, and my 9-year-old daughter are all going to join me at this event. We are all going to shave our heads to raise money for children's cancer research. So, we hope to raise a bunch of money. If you would like to sponsor me, my family, or any of the other Vernon Hills Police Department participants, the easiest way is a credit card donation online at www.stpaldricks.org/events/7662/2013. Then you can either donate to the event, to a particular team, we are the VHPD officers, or you can choose a specific participant by clicking on the All Participants link. You can also sign up to join us on this page. Last year, we raised over $13,000. Although we only listed our goal as $10,000 for this year, I'm hoping we raise much more. And with your help, we can. To keep updated on the event, just go to our website, www.vhpd.com, and I'll have information posted under the Police Department News section. Or if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me. My phone number is 847-247-4889, or email me at sjoseph@vhills.org. Thank you so much for listening, and we hope to see you on March 9th. And by the way, there'll be plenty of pictures on the website after the event. You can see what I look like without this. Thank you.
We are at the Vernon Hills Park District's Lakeview Center, which is the newest facility for our Vernon Hills Park District. It's very exciting to be over here today. They're getting it all turned over from what you may remember it being the YMCA. And it's looking very much Park District now. We're with two guys over here who've been very busy at this. We're with Jeff Fougeroux, who's the executive director of our Park District, and Matt Laporte, who's the facility manager over here. So if you come over, these are the guys you're going to see. So thanks for taking the time to talk with us. You guys are really busy. You got workers out there. You got all kind of things going on.
Yeah, it is extremely busy right now, Lynn. Since we took over on the 1st of January, it's just been a whirlwind. You can see today here, and maybe you'll captivate some of the photos of our park staff remodeling our fitness center. We've got some new colors we're trying to introduce in the flooring and in the walls. We're going to be transitioning our equipment from the Sullivan Community Center next week on the 30th of January. So as of February 2nd, that facility, all the cardio equipment, all the strength training equipment will be removed from Sullivan and brought over here to Lakeview, and that's what Matt and his staff are going to be focusing on here, is just, kind of gearing up the efforts and getting people into the building.
Okay, so when you talk about moving the equipment over, so this is where you'll come now for weight training and cardio and those kind of things?
Yeah, so we will still have some classes for the aerobics over at Sullivan, but here we will have the majority of the aerobics classes along with the strength training, the cardio equipment, and all in our fitness room here.
When we talk about Sullivan's, will it still have the preschool in there and the dance classes and things?
Yeah, that'll still exist, all the preschool. The only thing you'll see the void is just the 2 spaces that we allocated for fitness and cardio strength training is going to move over. We're going to end up facilitating that in the future with after-school programs, some existing preschool and tot classes that exist now in the gym over at Sullivan Center, kind of space issues that we end up overlapping and duplicating, so they'll fulfill those space needs over there. And then our cardio room over at the Sullivan Center is going to be converted into maintenance storage, and then a couple of our staff members that are going to use that for kind of laying their hat every day.
Okay, so just more efficient use of space instead of two places for everything, combine it and put everything where you need it to be. So lots of things going on. I know if you've been a Y member, it was a different way. You were a Y member, you bought memberships.
Correct. Underneath the YMCA system, it was a member, non-member system. And with the Park District, we're talking resident, non-resident. So you actually can still use the facility as a resident or non-resident. And we have a daily drop-in, we have 20 punch pass, or you get an annual membership. Obviously, the more with an annual membership, you're paying less per visit, and it's the better way to go. We do offer a lot of different amenities here, and making some significant enhancements to the building. So we invite everybody to come on down.
Well, and I heard that if you want to just give it a try, you could even just stop by and give a little tryout.
Yes, you certainly can. We have an ad going out in the local newspaper with a coupon, so bring that in. We also have some visitor passes if you'd like to come down and check us out.
Okay, so if somebody wants to try something, they're not ready to make a huge commitment, they want to give it a try and see how great it is, they can just talk to you guys or come to the front desk and learn a little more then.
They certainly can. We are offering tours, showing you around the whole facility. We also are doing tours of our child care center if people want to see take a peek at that. Yeah, but you can come on down and have a day on us.
Okay. Well, and the other nice thing when we're thinking about stuff, because now we're getting in the time of year where we sign up for swimming lessons. Now that you've got this facility, you can have swimming lessons year-round.
Yeah, that's correct. I mean, behind us here you see we've got a 4-lane lap pool. You've got a nice kids amenity spray feature that's real unique for an indoor aquatic facility. Great for birthday parties, or just we get scouting groups that come in, youth groups that come in and want to use it. So this is a facility that's used quite a bit by our members, by the community, and certainly we want to enhance that. But our swim lessons, not only at the Aquatic Center, during the summer months, but year-round, very popular. A lot of classes fill up. So we encourage people to, get on top of that as best they can. You can get that online. You can get that by coming into the Sullivan Center and the Lakeview Center. So residents, non-residents that want to take these programs, any of our Park District programs, not just swim lessons, they can, participate by either facility, whichever is closer maybe to their, to their home or their business to come in. So we're trying to just, branch out a little bit and make that available. I did want to add on, Matt touched a little bit on our child care facility, and our Little Learning child care facility right now, I think is a great benefit to, young parents that need that child care assistance. Whether you live in town, whether you work in town, and it's a convenience. Our rates, if you compare our rates to other child care facilities, are well below what some of the other private entities. We have this great amenity here that we provide to all the kids where they can take swim lessons. We bring them in the pool. I mean, I think that is a great value to parents that wanna. It's a DCFS licensed facility, so they should have comfort in knowing that their kids are cared for in a very safe and secure environment. And we can't stress enough just to try to get that message out to some of our young families in the area that this is kind of a hidden gem for them to take participation in.
And we take them as young as 6 weeks. We go up to 6 years of age, so it's a great asset to have here.
And you're right, it is kind of a hidden gem, because now that the Park District's doing it, I think your connection with the community is much, you guys are here in the community. We kind of feel like we know you guys better, and that's kind of exciting then to know what kind of programs you have over here.
Yeah, so we like to look at us as different from one of the big bucks places that they can go to in the community, and we are that home away from home. We're that family for them. So everybody is welcome to come on in and utilize what we have to offer.
Well, and when we talked about all the things going on, you talked about resident and non-resident. Let's remind everybody, if you live in Vernon Hills, you get the resident rate, which is a little bit less. And also, if you go to Hawthorne District 73, if you're in that boundary area, you get the resident rate because you've made a deal like that. So.
Yeah, that's correct. I mean, when we made the decision to purchase the YMCA, that was one of the issues that the Park Board felt very strongly about, was to give that break or that discount, if you will, to our residents. As Matt mentioned earlier, it was established as a member non-member facility. Now it's a resident non-resident. All of our fees were lowered across the board. Even for non-residents, they were lowered 10% of what they were paying prior to. There were 15% for residents. So we want to keep that consistent philosophy with even our programs that we offer year-round, that, obviously we realize that this is a tax-supported facility, and we've got to provide that that generosity to our residents first and foremost. But again, we are certainly open and welcome to people that are non-residents, and we would love for him to come and just check us out. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised.
Well, and you, like I said, you're sprucing up. We'll see pictures of that as we go through. You're sprucing up, getting it looking great. I mean, it was always a wonderful facility. So if people want to find out more, I know your website has all the information about the different pricing. You can call over here, and as you said, you can just try it out.
You certainly can. Our website, vhparkdistrict.org, has all the information on pricing. We also have plenty of brochures to hand out here and walk everybody through it. We start at $41 a month for our adult members, and we work our way up to for a family of $63 a month. We do a 5% off prepayment, so if you pay everything at full, you get 5% off your total price of your package. So we think we're pretty fair and competitive.
So someplace, this is a place we should stop in and try out, because it is a community place. It is a community center, and if people want to know more, go online. I know you're always around if people want to talk to you too. So thank you for taking the time. Come on over here and see what's going on. Check it out. Exactly. This is a great thing for our community. Let's make sure it goes well. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lynn.
Well, here on the update, we've made a trip over to the Corporate Woods area to visit the Adversity Volleyball Club. Now, this is an organization that is very well known in volleyball world, and I hope you know about it a lot more when we get done here today. We're with Mike Hewlett. He's the owner, president, visionary, head coach. Visionary is good.
I think president is
We'll go with president then of Adversity Volleyball. Coach, and Coach, thank you for joining us. I know you just came off a a lesson, and you're getting ready for the boys to come in and practice. So thank you for taking the time. And
pleasure.
I was looking on the website. You guys have been around since '97. When did you come to Vernon Hills?
We moved into Vernon Hills in the fall of 2009.
Okay, 2000. What got you up this neck of the woods?
Well, there was a couple of things. One, facilities, space available, the size that I was looking for, and the demographics in the area are very good. In terms of income and boys playing volleyball and just the number of the population as well.
And it is a beautiful facility. This facility is for your training, your practice, and then you have tournaments up here too.
That is correct.
Yeah, it's a beautiful facility. So let's talk a little bit about adversity. Let's talk about that name, adversity. That's a kind of an interesting, telling name, and you're no stranger, I guess I'd say, to adversity and challenge and perseverance and success. How does that name and how your philosophy, how does that impact how this club is run?
Well, the name is something that one of my friends came up with, and we kind of, batted it around, and everybody said, okay, I like it. I don't think much about, that when we're doing things on court, because everybody faces adversity at some point in their life, and for some of the kids, it could be that they're, athletically challenged, they get injured. It could be anything that causes them to not perform to their peak or where they want to. So, but we don't really think about it much that way. It's just something that is. My own personal adversity is pretty obvious. A quadruple amputee, you don't see many of those around, much less in the coaching world. And I have had parents say that they don't hear much complaining about their children when they see me in the gym.
And you are, let's talk about this, because you are a lifelong athlete. And on top of that, you have accolades that are a mile long. I know you won't tell us, so I'm going to try to read them without my glasses on. He's the men's Paralympic sitting volleyball team coach from '96 through 2000. So you were at the Olympics with the men's Paralympic, and then you started the women's program.
Correct.
In Athens and Beijing, and you medaled.
That's correct. Silver or a bronze medal in Athens, which was pretty interesting because there were several teenagers on that, actually 4 starters. 2 of them were sophomore girls that weren't even 16 yet, an 18-year-old and a 17-year-old. And then we had a couple of the older ladies playing too. But, we went to Athens not knowing what we were going to do, facing teams we had only seen one time at one event, and then we ended up beating some of those teams in the pool play to get to the semifinals, and ended up winning the bronze, beating a team that had beaten us in May, and they had beaten us 3 times. And then Beijing, we went there with a much greater expectation. We got a chance to see China, who was the gold medalist in Athens as well as in Beijing, and we just weren't good enough at that point in time, and it was a challenge just being heard sitting there with 3,600 screaming Chinese fans there.
Is volleyball big then in China? Well, all sports are big, so.
All sports are big, but Paralympic volleyball there is very, very big. Volleyball in general is very big in China.
Interesting. Well, and you came off of those seasons with not only the success, but you were named the U.S. Olympic Committee's Paralympic Coach of the Year in 2004. That's not too shabby at all. So.
Dang, they put my name in. I just went up and took the award.
Nice. And you've earned a bunch of other awards. USA Volleyball's George Friarwood Award in 2012. That's not that long ago. I understand that's like one of the top. That's one of the pinnacles right there.
That is the top award that they give out to the membership.
So very nice, very nice. That's the kind of coaching that you've got over here, right in Vernon Hills. Couldn't be closer. And on top of that, you've got a whole staff of coaches who come from winning volleyball programs, men's and women's and colleges, and you've got such a roster of people. And I know one of the differences in your philosophy is you always say you like to have the kids learn not by drilling and drilling and drilling, but playing and playing and playing.
Right. Well, going to the coaches, most of the coaches, I used to be able to say that most of the coaches or almost all the coaches played for me before they went off to college and then came back. But as we've grown, that's not quite so true anymore. They all have coaching experience. not all of them have playing experience at the competitive level. We try to get our alumni back involved. And I forgot the second question.
Oh, and then it's just like your philosophy. You like to get the people out there. You like to get the kids playing, not just standing in the gym drilling all day.
Well, and that kind of goes back to what is the best way that we learn. We learn by playing the game or doing. And you don't want to learn something at a slower speed and then have to relearn it at a faster speed. So we do teach, what we want to teach, and we do that in a drill fashion, but we try and get game-like as quickly as we can.
And that's a lot more fun for the kids, especially. And I should say, the main focus of your, you've got all kinds of people here, but Adversity Volleyball Club, your claim to fame is like about 14 to 18 men's program, which is that the correct parameters there?
Adversity Volleyball Club is for boys, and we've had 10-year-olds playing for us up to 18s. Once you graduate high school, you have to move on. That would be something I'd also mention. We're upwards of 65 or 70 boys that we put off, have helped go on to play in college at the varsity level, including a number of them in California.
Well, when you think about that too, there's not, the men's volleyball isn't like women's volleyball where they're everywhere. So the fact that you've got that many guys playing in college and getting scholarship and getting to go to school and getting to play a game, that's huge, because you really are a very well-known program, and you're kind of in a hotbed area with this Great Lakes area.
Well, right. There's only 18 Division I schools that offer, 4.5 scholarships apiece. So, boys don't play the game for a scholarship. They play because they love it. Great Lakes is probably number 3 in terms of boys registration in USA Volleyball. And, I can remember when it started in high school, there were 13 teams playing in the state championships in 1986, and now there's over 205, I think. So it's probably still growing.
Well, and talk about adversity, because this is a big club. This is not small potatoes. You got a big club around here.
Well, when we moved up here, we expanded, and with 8 courts here, of course, we have the room for more teams. We're up to 10 this year, hoping to grow again next season. Certainly we hope this program will help. But, it's all about how the success that you have. And, we've gone to California for a major tournament in June and had teams do quite well. We've gone to nationals and had teams do quite well. Our best finish last season was our 17s finished 5th in the 17 Open division, which is pretty darn good. That's the highest finish we've had at any age group, is 5th. So but that is our overall goal, is to go out and actually win a national championship someday, and that's what we work towards. Everything we do in the winter is a little bit of both, getting them ready for their high school season, preparing them to earn that bid for the national championships. Then when we come back in the summer for those teams going on to nationals, it's all about getting ready to win the championship.
And you've got kids coming from all over too. I think we kind of mentioned it before. Even though you're in Vernon Hills, this is not just a Vernon Hills club. There are people coming from all across the region, and even from up in Wisconsin. They're coming from everywhere to be a part of this.
Well, membership-wise, we go all the way up to Zion, have been to Antioch, we go down into the city, out to Arlington Heights, so we're a pretty big, geographic area. When we host tournaments, that's when we start to see teams from the Badger region, which is Wisconsin. We see teams from Indiana, Iowa occasionally. We had a team come in from Nebraska for a tournament, and then we do see teams down from the Missouri area as well. We have occasionally had a kid fly up from Dallas. He played one season with us, and he flew up from Dallas to make practice 2 out of the 3 days a week.
That's pretty impressive.
His father was a pilot.
Oh, well, that helps, but still, that's a lot of effort to get here to see what's going on at Adversity. Well, so we talk about, this is the men's volleyball program, and you're getting kids ready for high school, you're getting them ready for life. A lot of different levels of program here. You do some other stuff too here, because when we first came in, you were given lessons. You've got younger kids programs. You've got for kids just learning.
Well, we do give lessons, and that's myself as well as other coaches. We also have several, the Sky High Girls program practices out of this facility, and then Adversity has its 15 and under team that also practices here. We're working with Sky High to bring in a Volley Kids program. That is for kids call it 10 and under, just to start to get exposed to the game and learn some of the skills, and hopefully they choose to pick it up.
So that's something, if you want to keep track of. Volley Kids is for the younger kids. I know you've had camps here too, things that go on that you can watch for summer, or break camps and things like that.
Well, we do summer camps for sure, and now the IHSA has allowed camps to happen during the school year, so we'll be offering some there as well during the school year, like spring break. You know, we do have open gyms before the high school season start, and occasionally, just depending on what our other things are scheduled.
Anything for the grown-up?
Well, we have so much practice going on during the week, and then the tournaments are both days on the weekend. There's not a lot of options for the adults to get started, and there's some pretty well-established leagues out there that it's hard to drag people away from.
Well, I've seen you've had like you've had badminton lessons going on here. You've got parties in your big party room. There's a lot of things people can do if they want to come over and see what's going on over here.
Yeah, we do have the Shannon Pole Badminton Academy is here. They are using a court generally 5 days a week, and that is one of those situations where it's the same as volleyball. These are kids that want to get better. You know, they're gearing up towards their high school season because there's not a lot of opportunities for badminton in college. We do have party space available if they're interested in that. We can also rent the courts to interested parties, corporate events, things like that. Had some inquiries, never really had anything happen on the major corporate level, but you know, we certainly love that to happen too.
Well, I tell you, you're busy here all the time, and we're trying to wrap this up quick because the boys are going to be coming in, and they are loud and they are moving around. So thank you for taking the time to talk with us. Good luck on your season as you go into the tournaments at the end. If you want to find out more, go online, give a call, stop over here, talk to somebody you know, but learn more about this great organization right here in our midst. Thanks for taking the time, Coach. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Well, that wraps up this edition of the Vernon Hills Update. But remember, if you have comments or suggestions, please contact Mike Stordo at 847-918-3560 or email Mike S. at vhills.org. Thank you for tuning in to the Vernon Hills Update.